right, so let's talk a little bit about what we're getting ourselves into here.
There we go.
Good morning. You have been
Those of you just joining us, we're getting underway now. I'm Catacwag here with Carlos Mellon. This is Portal 2 inbound, no SLA, no save load abuse. Basically, where saves and loads are allowed, but you can't do any glitches that require save and load to work.
And we're just sitting in a container right now, not really doing anything. We're not allowed to skip this part of the game thanks to a new rule change, but for now, for the race and just the game's sake, we're going to be sitting through basically a 5-minute cutscene at the start of the game to get things started.
Which gives us a little bit of time to talk about kind of what we're going into here. So this category starts here when you first gain control at the beginning of the game here in Container Ride, and it ends after defeating the final boss. And the timer stops when the player loses control during that final cutscene. What we're in right now is, like I said earlier, Container Ride. It's basically the wake up. Here, you wake up in this relaxation chamber, which is essentially, you know, kind of like the same idea as a cryogenic chamber or something like that, made for storing test subjects. And something goes wrong, and Wheatley has to come bail us out, and we get started.
And then Wheatley's just going to talk, say some good dialogue and all that. Do we actually have sound for these ones?
It doesn't appear that we do have audio. I'm not sure if that's because neither player has used... it looks like we're using Dinoz's audio, but it doesn't look like we've got any audio from Dinoz at the moment. Maybe we do. Hold on. We do have audio from Dinoz. That was on my end.
Okay, sweet. But yeah, right now there's not much going on. There's very few inputs in like the first 5 minutes. It's mostly just waiting around, but gives us a good chance to talk about the runners. Dinoz going up against Knipje. I forgot how to say it again.
That would be Knipje.
I was very close.
You were close.
Knipje has a PB of about 115, Dinoz has a PB of about 127, so the difference in PBs is quite a bit, but Knipje isn't feeling very well, which if he isn't, then this could be a bit closer than the PB suggests.
Does any of this make any sense?
Yeah, this run essentially comes down to the difference in times comes down to execution, but also each chamber has several different ways of solving it. Some faster than others, and some more difficult than others, and it follows that the more difficult strats are usually the fastest, and vice versa. So we have some of the better runners who get down closer to 102, 103. The world record holder right now is around the 101. And then you have runners that go all the way out to an hour and a half and beyond. So here in the first round of the winners bracket, we'll have a lot of discrepancy between the runners, but with Knipje and Dinoz, I expect to have a fairly close race, at least for the end.
It should be fairly close, but I will be expecting to see quite a few different strats coming out from each of them. I expect to see Knipje going for a few harder things, while Dinoz will stick with mostly, not necessarily the intended route, but the fairly basic speed run.
Yeah, we saw before, if you're sticking around for a little bit before we got started here during the setup, Knipje was practicing pit flames, which is the strat he was going for, which is the most common single-sided strat. The most common no SLA strat is a triple reportal, and we'll talk about tricks kind of like reportals and butt glitches, that sort of thing when it comes up. But we have he'll be going for a tougher strat that's a very, very small window of time in order to shoot a portal shot. And if he gets it, then it's very quick. If he doesn't get it, he just keeps trying until he gets it. So.
Yeah, so we'll be seeing that a bit later in the run, but for now, first chamber.
I think this is a docking station. Get ready.
After you already waited for about 5 minutes, he's gonna be throwing this key. What is it? Clipboard right into the toilet, mixing it a few times, but
this is an RNG manipulation of a toilet swoosh. The way that it's an RNG manipulation is if you get the toilet swoosh, your run is blessed. If you don't get the toilet swoosh, your run is cursed, and you have to reset.
It's a pretty crucial part of the game that I just choose not to do because I'm cool.
You're a god gamer. You don't need.
He just threw those things over, and he'll be getting started with circle jump into some bunny hopping, which is the main movement for this game. You'll see a lot of bunny hopping. They'll always be jumping and strafing in the air whenever they get the chance to.
There will be, we'll see here some dialogue skipping and some dialogue early triggering, that sort of thing. That's pretty common as far as runs in general go. If it's a long dialogue and you can trigger it early or skip it, then you do, because that's faster.
Yeah, generally, but Portal 2 is actually a really heavily dialogue-based game. Most of the chambers, what you want to do is just, you want to trigger the end dialogue as fast as you possibly can, and then cut off the end dialogue as fast as you possibly can.
Exactly, and we saw Knipje there toward the end, waiting a little bit for a specific part of the dialogue before entering the elevator. This is because as you go down the elevator, there are triggers that are spaced about the elevator shaft, and once the dialogue finishes and you hit a trigger, then it loads the next map. So you want to have the dialogue finish as close to one of those triggers as possible. So we wait. Because there are so many triggers and the dialogue is a certain amount of time, there are a lot of different strats, so to speak, as far as when to enter the elevator relative to the dialogue. And we'll see Knipje here again, waiting for a specific part of dialogue before entering the elevator.
Lie on your back and apply.
You'll see these runners do this. Some chambers it doesn't matter, but many chambers it is very key that you enter on a certain part of the dialogue, so you skip, or you wait as little time as possible before you exit the chamber.
I'll talk a little bit about the movement in Portal 2. It's just like other Source games. There's quite a bit of bunny hopping, and essentially it comes down to if you jump at the right time, immediately after touching the ground, you'll conserve most of your momentum in the direction you're going. And for whatever reason in this game, particularly Portal 2, I'm not familiar with other Source D-hops, but in Portal 2, you gain speed by air strafing, which is strafing and moving your mouse to the direction that you are strafing, both at the same time. And if you air strafe back and forth, you gain speed, and if you jump at the right time, then you conserve that speed and you basically hop.
And
if the Earth is
get that dialogue skip actually right at the end there in Portal Gun, which we'll see down going forward right about now.
Yeah, and we'll be able to hear the audio on Dinoz stream, but essentially Wheatley and the announcer both have dialogue, and you can cut off the announcer's dialogue with Wheatley's dialogue if you're fast enough. There's a certain window you can do it in, and it's a fairly tight window, and you have to have pretty good bunny hops and movement through here.
But once you get it, it saves quite a bit of time. It saves about 9 seconds. And right here we'll see, hopefully,
no, Dinoz did not get it, unfortunately.
Soft locks that level, and the programmers actually knew that that was possible, so they triggered it so where if you soft lock a level, it will automatically complete itself, and that's actually faster than completing the level in that chamber specifically.
Yeah.
So you'll see Dinoz do the same thing once he gets into that chamber, which I believe he's going into right now.
So in this part of the game so far, they've only got this single portal device. Here in a little while, they'll go and they'll get the dual portal device. What Knipje just did there was a portal stand, and then he placed a portal under the cube, and then immediately placed it against the wall and grabbed the cube through the portal. A little bit of manipulation there of the physics. Portal stand essentially just peek out of the portal, and then the portal will push you out of it after the portal disappears. So you walk back into the portal very quickly after shooting it, and you go back through the wall where you came.
You have trapped yourself.
There we go. Dinoz does successfully shove the cube through the door.
And we'll be seeing Knipje do the exact same thing last chamber right here, basically doing another portal stand and shooting the portal under the cube to grab the cube out of the portal right next to him.
If you're having trouble getting the cube on the button there,
yeah,
it's a little bit harder than it seems.
Oh, there you go. He gets the jump, and now he'll be doing a button glitch where if you activate and deactivate a button on the same tick, it'll just stay activated, and you won't need to actually have anything on it, like a cube or an item. It'll just stay activated. He's that first try, really nice.
Yeah, there are a lot of different setups for that trick, as we see Dinoz going from the portal stand into the cube grab here on Momentum. Gets it nicely. There are several different methods of doing button and stick glitch between single player and co-op. On that map that Knipje just did, Future Star, there's common is to get a certain setup, look a different direction, and then just walk forward, and your path will take you over the button on just one tick. Knipje going for what we call Wheatley skip here on the secret panel. So there's the anchor platform you'll see ahead with the yellow portal, the orange portal. If you place a blue portal where you're supposed to and you go through the orange portal, then it fills the orange portal and you're no longer able to use it. But if you hop up here in a specific way, avoiding the out of bounds, or not out of bounds, but avoiding the geometry outside you're supposed to be, then that yellow portal stays up, and if you place the portal here, and at a certain point in the dialogue, will go back through it into the yellow portal where he was before. Wheatley jumps off of his rail and rolls through the portal, hopefully, and if he does, then you can just portal straight to the end with Wheatley, and you can skip about a minute and a half of cutscene here.
Yeah, extremely useful. Everyone should be going for that, and you'll see him start to do that right now. He jumps through, he crouches at a specific point, and he's going to be aiming up the portal surface right toward the end of this whole sequence. And hopefully, if everything goes right, Wheatley fall right into his portal, pop over to him, he'll grab him, and then he'll be on the way.
Yeah.
Plan grabs Wheatley, and gets to skip that whole probably like 45-second cutscene where you have to wait for Wheatley to do all of his stuff.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of, right here where we've got a secret Wheatley. Knipje is at secret panel as well as Wake Up, the next chamber. There's it's just a bunch of bunny hopping. There's a specific path you kind of need to take, and bunny hopping on catwalks. Excuse me, bunny hopping on catwalk and around obstacles is a lot more difficult than it seems. If you hop too fast, you lose control over your movement. Because at a certain speed, the game basically nullifies your control inputs and just makes you continue going in that direction.
So lots of Portal 2 movement is centered around going as fast as you can to maintaining control of exactly what you're doing, and that's what we'll try and see him do right here in this map, because it's pretty easy on this one specifically to lose control and just go flying off of this rebel.
To disengage myself from my management rail.
So Dinoz had to reload a couple times. I actually didn't get a good.
Yeah, but he should have it now.
Yeah, he does have it because I see that the orange portal is still there.
On 3.
So as soon as Wheatley says on 3, he's able to hop back through. If he goes through the orange into the blue, no matter when, if he goes back the way he came, then that closes the orange portal and you just lost the skip. So you saw Dinoz make a quick save there, and hopefully we can do that now in Westella.
A bit slower, but it's fine. As long as you get it.
Plug me into that stick on the wall over there, yeah? And I'll show
you.
You'll be impressed by this.
Knipje, just at the start of this game, there's quite a bit of cutscene. This will be the last bit for a little bit, but 2 minutes or so to wait for GLaDOS to wake up and all that stuff, and you'll be meeting some new characters.
Yeah, seems that thanks for the feedback, chat. It seems that we are still experiencing the Discord issue. I don't know if it's an issue with the server or if it's an issue with Discord just across the board, but yeah, we're kind of getting issues with voices sounding robotic and such, so over this issues kind of resolve themselves as Discord issues. So.
What a nasty piece of work.
Is the issue happening to both of us, or is it just one of us?
According to chat, it sounds like I am robotic a little bit, and I actually hear you robotic in my ears, so
you're good at it too.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. Dino's coming up right to where Knipje is, so there's not a huge discrepancy in time right now. We're actually on fairly similar levels going out of chapter 1.
Yeah. Something we actually neglected to mention here is that you see Knipje actually hopped up on top of the lift here and grab that little hoop. That's Hoopy. Hoopy is another way of letting run.
In
fact, a few different ways.
Usually the run is not real. You have to reset.
Yeah. A few different ways to bless your run. You gotta find your own.
That's
or toilet swoosh or whatever. And then you'll see Knipje going right into Incinerator right now, which is the last level of chapter 1, and then after that we'll be on to chapter 2.
What we're gonna see here in Incinerator is we're gonna see a dialogue skip. There's a trigger that Knipje will be hugging the wall in one part, you'll see very shortly here. That is to avoid a trigger which plays dialogue, and you have to wait a little bit before the dual portal device is revealed to you. You can pick it up. So you can pick it up early by skipping this trigger. You'll see this is a little bit of a tight hop you may be going for.
I believe he will be going for this right here. Jumping
Yeah,
over,
right
jump
there.
off that. Nice, perfect. And also, Dinoz
And then
missed. Did he get it?
Power up complete.
he did
no,
not.
he was
He's
fast there.
not able to pick up the portal dust right now.
Very upset with himself.
We're gonna see. We're gonna see Knipje express emotion through his matte ambient here, which we'll talk about that later on in Turret Factory.
But that was a nice incinerator. It should get this dialogue. Fine.
You did what?
That was.
So Dinoz missed his elevator jump. He did not get Hoopy, so his run is looking grim.
Okay, look,
Very
we
grim.
both said a lot of things
Miss
that
the
you're
toilet
going to regret.
swoosh, Miss Hoopy.
But I think we can put our
This is
differences behind us. For some
shameful.
He's in shambles right now. Chapter
I will
2.
say though,
Right now we're
since
going
you went to all
into
the trouble of
finish
waking
row.
me up, you must really, really
Should be
love
doing
to
the
test.
fastest route.
I love it too.
Roll
There's
up on the
just
wall
one
before it
small
starts
thing we
moving,
need to
and
take
then
care of
bunny hops a little
first.
bit. Bunny
Let's
hop
see if I can.
into the portal. Oh, a bit too much speed. Right amount going into the portal, or you got to shoot it a bit lower.
Wait, thanks
Yeah.
for that.
Sarcasm self-test complete.
So we've seen. I've just switched the audio over to Knipje since he's ahead. Just chat for my vote.
Once
But
again,
we've just done what we've just seen Knipje do is the laser intro. And, I don't know if you were counting, but we don't use any lasers in laser intro.
ooh, this is my favorite bit. The amount of lasers used bit. This is a good one.
Yes. So now we're going into laser stairs, which features another laser. Chat. Go ahead. Give me a count on how many lasers Knipje uses here.
I bet Baster has a good idea of how many lasers we use. Oh,
Doesn't look like we're using any lasers here. Oh, Knipje, how could you?
There should be one in the
Drops the cube back through, off the cliff. That's lovely. No lasers used in laser stairs.
You are a
but
horrible
he recovered.
person.
He's looking
That's
fine.
what it says.
He's got a lead on Dinoz right now, but oh, it looks like Dinoz actually missed his incinerator dialogue skip as well.
Let's see if he actually got the skip. We'll know if he just goes straight into the elevator. We'll know that he missed the skip. If he waits, then we can reasonably assume that he got the skip. It doesn't look like he got it. That's unfortunate for Dinoz. We'll keep an eye on the right side of your screen how long Dinoz stays in the elevator. He'll end up more than likely just having to wait till the very bottom of the elevator.
Most people emerge
So Knipje just executed a glitch called laser switch glitch. If you have one laser and two laser receptors, then if you trigger one receptor and on the next tick trigger the other receptor, the game will get confused and think they're both triggered at once.
And that'll allow you to, in theory, only have one activated, switch it to the other, and then game will think you have both activated, and you're allowed to press up against doors like that just to get through them real quick. So it allows you to complete chambers like that one quite a bit faster.
Yeah, we'll see another couple instances of laser switch glitch later on. Knipje looks like he's going full intended route here on laser overview. By the way, I didn't. Sorry to cut you off, Mel. It's very important. I have to say, on the previous map, dual lasers can be used a total of one laser.
Yeah, full intended route. I don't blame him. Laser review,
I guess you are listening to
so many different routes. Every single one of them besides the intended route is very scary to do, in my opinion, because almost all of them will lead to a death if you just mess them up just a hair. So
Yeah, laser overview. The faster routes require very good circle jumps, which are one of the harder things one of the harder parts of Portal 2 movement.
Going into catapult intro now. You'll see him grab a camera off the wall and place it on the button, and he's doing that because it actually triggers when you put an item on that button, and it doesn't check for if it's actually the cube that you need it to be. It just checks for if it's an item, so it'll actually accept the camera to start the end dialogue. So that allows you to start the end dialogue maybe, I don't know, 15 seconds before you would normally, and that's extremely useful because, again, dialogue-based game, you need to trigger it as early as possible. So it allows you to save quite a bit of time just putting the camera on there.
I thought that was interesting.
Dinoz is finishing up. I believe it was laser stairs he just did.
Yeah, so Knipje has a little bit of a lead, but
What the next test is.
and that's where Knipje could definitely lose quite a bit of time, as we saw him practicing before the stream started.
Yeah. Okay, looks like Knipje is going for. There are a couple different strats here on trust flying. and he is going for this particular strat. You can do the full intended route, which is just use the faith plate to fling all the way there. There's an airstrafe you can do, and he's gone for the just portaling down over there. Saves a little bit of time over intended.
So sometimes there's still trash.
I hope he did. Maybe I just am blind, but oh yeah, he did. Okay.
Yeah, he hit
For some reason, I thought he didn't hit that button, and he missed it. But
and he went back through over the button in order to replace the portal because supposedly it's a 100% chance for that, or a very, very good chance that that garbage will fall and trigger the button.
so you'll see basically everyone do that. They'll run back through and replace the portal in a specific orientation. So the trash always triggers it. And you also
And it's
saw
pretty
him go-
much free. Sorry, it's pretty much free to do that without losing any time because you have to wait for the garbage to fling all the way over anyway.
You also saw him go right into that elevator right away instead of waiting for dialogue, because that's one of the few elevators in the game where the end dialogue will actually, then it takes to wait the entire duration of the elevator until the bottom, where eventually the elevator will just say something in the game probably went wrong.
Are you kidding me, Knipje? That's a godlike pit flex given how
That
much
was
trouble he's
so
having with his
good.
setup. Let's
That
get some
was-
pop champs in the shout for Knipje. That was insane.
That was that was really good. Oh my god,
That was one of the fastest pit flanks triple reportals I've seen in a long
I'm
time. It
very
was
happy with that. He is
flashing the
he's
green.
ecstatic. He is
flashing the green
thrilled.
matte ambient.
Yellow. I really like this. I like the multiple colored ambient lights. Ooh. I like
There's-
it when it just all fades to white. I like the weird colors.
Yeah. With let's see what route he's just gonna go for the standard route here on Fizzler intro. Not fully.
I don't know
infused,
how.
but
That did not have one.
Yeah.
Oh.
He,
There you go.
ooh.
I don't know how Valve. Oh, not.
Knipje angry.
The turbines again. I have to go.
The way he's manipulating the colors there, if you're not familiar with Portal 2, is there's a command that we can use to change the ambient light on the red, green, and blue channels. And it's been allowed in Portal 2 and Bounce No SLA to use that in order to brighten up the room for certain parts. And so he just has different buttons bound to different RGB channels. Let's see if...
I have no idea. We aren't gonna be able to tell, are we? Well, I guess he might flash a color.
Celebrated to
Oh, he
some
shot. Maybe in anger. I can't tell.
Dinoz.
He got
I'll add
a...
Oh, did he get double?
He got single dialogue skip, so Gladys said you appear to have...
now.
what is the word? But basically you've defeated its load-bearing limits.
Seem to have
So,
defeated
single dialogue
its
skip. There are 3
load-bearing
dialogue lines there. There's a trigger that you can hit with your head, and the specific rhythm of crouching, uncrouching, and pull forward. You can actually hit that trigger 3 times in one go, and we call that double dialogue skip, or you can get a single dialogue skip. Oh, hits the ankle.
Yeah, depends how many times you actually hit the trigger while you're in the air. If you hit 3, you skip basically all the dialogue in one go. But if you only hit it once, you have to go. Oh, you missed
Oh,
it straight.
no,
He's gonna have to go
yeah.
back. Oh.
Ned flash from Knipje very shortly.
There you go. He might do a little air strafe, land in a portal, and should be able to fling up.
Gets
Yep,
it.
nicely done.
You sailing through the air majestically.
And yep, it's through.
Piloting a blimp.
So that's a pretty good ceiling catapult for Knipje. All things considered, missing the double dialogue skip, missing the... It looks like he wasn't going for a flip shot. It looks like he was going for a hop shot. Missing that as well, and then bad air strafe up to the cube. But other than that, I mean, everything else was very solid on that ceiling catapult for Knipje.
And we'll see him be going into one of the most notorious Portal 2 maps, Ricochet. A lot of different ways to do this one. All of them are...
Yesterday I saw a deer.
He's going to be going for a re-portal over to the cube. Gets it first try. Nicely done. Grab the cube. He's going to hop down. Portal.
I'll tell you about the time I saw a deer.
Not sure he's going for panel fling or not. Doesn't look like it. He's going to grab the cube and bounce off of it in midair. Nope, he missed it. I'm not sure where he's going to go from here. For...
Yeah, he's
Yep,
going to
going
try
for
the
it
panel
again.
flinger again. So at a certain height, you let go of the cube and place that orange portal where it's at. As you see, the cube very momentarily triggers the laser, or breaks the laser, and that causes the panel to very quickly go down and then back up. If you time it right on its upswing, the panel will launch you just straight to the door.
Looks like he's... I'm not exactly sure what he's doing now. It looks like he's going for a form of the intended route, where he's going to block this with one cube and then go for a cube bounce with the other.
Yeah. Quite a bit
And-
slower than the route he was going for initially. and he grabs the cube quite a bit early there. What he's trying to do now is the faith plate that's there. If you let go of the cube in midair and you put it yourself between just like that, you put yourself between the faith plate and the cube, then you'll bonk off the cube between the cube and the faith plate, and you can re-grab the cube and basically just fling straight up instead of flinging to the other side.
And that was quite a bit of time. Dinoz is only one chamber behind now, basically. So
Yeah.
things are getting a bit closer. I think Dinoz did pifflings pretty well too, but I wasn't exactly looking at the time.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oof.
yeah.
There we go, Dinoz.
These bridges are made from natural light that I pump
Not sure if we're
into
having
the
extreme issues on Dino's end or what's going on there.
It would be like standing.
Shot the wrong portal. Just
Oh
dove
no,
into the goo.
you. How could you?
If you rubbed your cheek on one, it would
I
be
think
like
the game just
standing
auto-saved you
outside
there.
with the sun
Yeah, it
shining
is.
on your face. It would also set your
Take
hair
it from me, I've
on
died
fire.
many times on bridge intro.
And I feel it. I mean, right here he'll be. Oh, thought he was gonna force the cube through the glass based on where he shot that, but
Yeah.
Excellent.
so
So,
like
wait.
that.
Predator.
Yeah, the way he jumped there, he jumped as far as he could toward the door before catching himself on the bridge. That triggered the end dialogue a little bit early there.
Do you know who
Hmm.
else murders people who
'Cause
are
again,
only trying to
You're
help?
doing basically everything in all these levels to trigger that end dialogue as early as possible. So the elevator fades you quick. I wonder what Dinoz is also going for the. Oh, he's falling into a portal to get over and ricochet. I assume he won't be going for panel fling. I assume he'll just be going for.
Oh no.
I figured out
He
what
hits
to
the
do
cube on the
with
way
my
down.
And
conversation.
still
So
go for it
probably-
if he. No, it looks like he's going. Yeah, he is going to try it again. He can fall down through his orange, come back up through the blue, and reset the whole thing.
Oh,
But.
and yeah, so he'll be going for another version of that. Knipje is trying door skip, where basically you gotta quick. You gotta go real quick. And if you go quick enough, you do exactly what he just did. That was very nice also. I can do that. I cannot do that at all.
There are
too
very
slow,
few.
but he's
Yeah, very few runners in the game who can get that first or second try, and he's managed to do it. It's a very good for him.
Mhm. And basically, if you're just tad slower than he is there, the door will just close on you, and there's a 40-second cutscene. So it's a huge trick to get, and him getting it second try, as you can see on the screen, he's happy
He's
about
very
it.
happy with that. Dino's unfortunately having to fall back on intended route. So that's going to be quite a bit of time lost compared to Knipje there. Knipje's was a little bit shoddy. Unfortunately, Dino's is not much better here on this on Ricochet.
Good luck.
Now on laser or turret intro, objectively the best map. I love turret intro. It's sweet.
It's going to be a pretty solid turret intro from him. Yeah,
All
not
around.
bad at all. Ooh, critical turret.
Oh,
Kicked it through the fizzler though, showed who's boss. Dino's coming out of Ricochet now. Yeah, in turret intro, the one that Knipje just did, it's all just movement through portals and portal stands and such. By doing that route, we actually skip all, whatever that flash was there. We actually skip all of the auto-save triggers in turret intro, so if you die in the last room, you die in real life.
no, it's a huge time loss. Missed dying in the last room in that map is close to 30 seconds of time loss. That's why you'll probably see him. You probably saw him auto save. Oh, and right here he'll be
That angle.
is to
There we go.
Yeah. The moment you hit all three of those, the end dialogue triggers, and as long as you aren't holding the cube, so you'll probably saw him like kind of Lego the cube while he was moving it around, because if at any moment during that he got all three activated while he wasn't holding the cube, the end dialogue would trigger. So it helps trigger it slightly earlier if you do it that way rather than lining it up.
Yeah. So Dino's waiting on dialogue there, and Knipje coming out of the elevator now, loading.
Going into turret blocker,
Yes. This is a
probably
fun
being
one
turret
with.
boost.
It's right here in your phone.
Yeah, so you can actually use the initial damage from a turret. No, he's not. I'm not sure what he's going for. He's going for a reportal route, it looks like. Doesn't quite get it, but he's got time to try it again. Ah, barely got it. So the fastest way of doing this in a single segment marathon safe environment or race safe environment is to the turret that he killed right at the beginning. It can when it shoots you for the first time or at different points in its shooting, it can give you a big boost, and that boost is enough to push you across that gap. But Knipje instead opted to kill the turret and go for a reportal across the gap.
So it's not a huge deal.
Didn't see whether Dino's got any form of door skip. I wouldn't
I
imagine he
didn't
got the
either.
true door skip, but
No,
I
but he
expected him
could
to
have
be
gotten
waiting on the bridge the gap here, so.
he could have gotten the lucky. Could be a little lucky boy. I'm not sure. I was looking at Knipje's screen at the time.
Yeah, so we didn't actually get to talk about this because Knipje did door skip so well on his second try. But if you press your face up against that door, just match it for a while, the door glitches out 3 times, and each of those 3 times gives you a chance of... What is Knipje stuck on? Oh, the laser. Each of those 3 door glitch animations has a chance of letting you through, but it's a very small chance. And I don't believe that there's a consistent way to reseed the RNG for that. So essentially, if you don't get that first or second try, you can try saving and loading, trying to, you know, get more attempts at that RNG, but in the end, you're just losing time if you don't get it.
Yeah, so it's risky, and usually it's not advised, but it's kind of funny. You can just keep going for it.
It says this next test was designed by one of Aperture's Nobel Prize winners.
Alright, so Knipje's coming up, this is pull the rug. Essentially, he's going to put a bridge here and on the other side. Put the cube where it's blocking the laser, and it's right over the button. And then hop to the end, pull the rug, jump a little early to open the door and activate dialogue, and he's done.
The last few chambers in Chapter 3 are basically just doing the intended route as fast as you can, which is nothing wrong with that, just going quick.
Yeah. Pull the rug would go a little bit faster than intended, where in intended you have to get up on top of the bridges and place it in the right spot, but thankfully you can place the bridge low enough to where you can just put it up there and go to the end. Time for column blocker.
Column blocker, a little confetti, and then...
So this is another cutscene coming up at the end of column blocker. Essentially, just like with the lasers, by the way, it's called column blocker, but in this route we're not using the column to block anything. It's aptly named. But there's a cutscene at the end of column blocker here that is possible to skip, but not consistent, and we might see that for the first time in the race from Crazy High later on. But what he's doing here is instead of using the column to block the cubes, if you don't, they'll just fall into the water. So instead of using the column to block it, he just looks out, hops up a little bit, grabs a cube, and then the other one falls straight in the portal.
Nicely done. No real mistakes there, even though I think that's a fairly hard chamber for some reason. I think that's a pretty easy chamber to do something slightly wrong and lose a bit of time there. It's about a, I don't know, 35-second cutscene with Jerry and Wheatley just talking about stuff.
So Dinoz looks like he's going for the report route as well here on turret blocker, so we're not going to see a turret do stuff.
He's gonna chuck that turret, and he gets that barely as well.
Yeah. So those turrets are very difficult to kill with the cube. The best way to do it there is to do what he just did and grab one of the turrets and just sweep it across.
Yeah, those turrets are always kind of an issue. They're pretty tough to kill methodically and quickly.
Yeah.
Pretty well.
Well, you know the old formula.
Knipje going into laser chain, I believe, and we'll see him do some hops at the start. Grab his cube first try. Yep. Shoot over here.
So he is going for the drop route here. If you drop it in the right spot, you can get it just right on the laser.
Oh! No, he missed it slightly. Probably it should line up well, but missed it. He's going to be doing a nice fling upwards.
Yeah, they're on the... Sorry, go ahead. We'll finish out, and then I'll talk a little bit
Well,
about
yeah, the intended... Oh, yeah, and you'll see him here at the end. He'll do a big strafe. The intended route actually involves another laser cube, and you kill the turrets, and then you do a... Oh, but if you just hold, like, A or D and move in the right way in the air, you're going to be able to make that pretty easily, and you won't have to deal with any of that cube.
Yeah.
So...
You'll see what Knipje did where he moved his mouse back and forth there to change his view angle. He was also strafing in the direction he was looking. That's what I was hinting at earlier with the air strafe. He's going to do another laser switch glitch here. Looks like he's going a little fast. The cube's actually... There we go.
There you go. You get it. And then you'll see him do it even more to trigger the dialogue.
You can sweep the cube too fast there and not get... all of the lasers in that glitch, and it looks like he was going a little bit fast, but ended up getting it in the end.
The right way in the air, but you're going to be able to make that pretty easy. should be, yep, that's fine. He's moving on to chapter 4. Knipje probably about halfway through chapter 4, so
Not a fake
bit of a lead.
surprise like last time.
Going into jailbreak, we'll finally be getting out of these dumb chambers and moving on to the behind the scenes of Aperture.
Yeah.
See him here, like, yeah, you can explain it.
Okay, basically what he's doing is by putting portals where he did and then standing just inside on the blue side, he's able to get that bridge up early and not have to wait for those panels to be moved out of the way. And so by doing that, then as soon as he gets to a certain spot, it triggers the bridge. He can just hop and just wait for not even have to wait for the bridge. Here, he's hopping over the railing, gets to it a little bit slow, but that skips about 5 seconds of hopping.
I should do that. I don't think I've ever done that.
Yeah, it's very easily to hit your. Oh my goodness, Dinoz, that cube just did not want to stay. Just woo. So here comes here with the yellow ambient there. This part. These two behind the scenes maps are really where you get the bulk of your bunny hopping in, especially on catwalks, which is more difficult than it seems.
These maps are largely movement based. It's just all about knowing how to strafe and jump properly around all the corners and all that. And you'll see him do some get going real fast.
Wall strafing essentially is where if you are against a wall, or in this case a catwalk handrail, you look a little bit away from it, and you have to already have some speed going into it. But you look a little bit away from it, and you strafe into the wall, and it just keeps giving you speed.
And that's the end of chapter 4. Going into chapter 5, this is the first place where the color switching you've seen him do throughout the run actually becomes useful for once, instead of just a bit of a playful thing. You'll see him do that so that doing a skip to skip Wheatley turning on his flashlight, which saves a little bit of time. The only penalty about that is that the remainder of the level is extraordinarily dark, which makes it pretty tough to see without, as you can see on the screen right here. It's pretty dark.
What Knipje is going for right now is the flashlight skip that Melon was just talking about. By hopping up on top of that rail and standing on the clip brush for it, that's where you can just hop over that area. There's an invisible wall at the end, but if you take the top route and go all the way over, you can just hop over that wall easily.
Struggling a bit with it, but he should be able to get it. It's not too bad of a jump. Then after that, you'll probably see him turn his view red or something, because it'll allow him to actually see.
He may turn them all on at once and try to make it white. Dinoz missed the...
We missed the cube grab.
Cube, yeah. I'm gonna go for it again here. Try to grab the cube. Got it that time. There's a pretty big hitbox on the cube and on grabbing, so if you press use at the right time, you should be able to pick it up. It must have just been a timing issue, or maybe game didn't allow him to grab it. You'll see Knipje finally got up on the top route. There. Did he? Okay, good. Everything goes white now because he just activated all the channels there.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so normally this would be, but thanks to a recent rule change, yeah. Actually, oh no.
Red.
Oh, he's upset.
He mad.
He's not happy.
That did just lose about 6-7 seconds of having to get back up, so that's unfortunate for him.
Memory of the incident. Nobody knows what they're screaming about. Absolutely terrifying. Though obviously not paranormal in any meaningful way.
This is interesting. I haven't seen this very often. There are panels in the conveyor belt where you can get pushed off or have to wait, but by hopping up on the rail and the clip brush on top of it, he's able to just bypass all of that. There's a couple different ways to do this part where he's coming up here. He's just going to go ahead and go unattended. We'll just hop down there. It only saves maybe a second, and a little bit easier movement later on if you hop on top of a couple of handrails there. So he's coming up on the end. This is a little bit weird because the tubes are kind of hard to stand on. You'll see he made a safety shot with the blue, and that's going to come in handy here as he falls down. It can be difficult to get up once you fall down, and if you fall all the way down the hole, of course you die. So
that's actually probably the trickiest part of the level, being able to dodge all those loop-de-loops, and just get through it well. And to just either fall down and lose like 5-6 seconds, or just die.
So there's a couple different ways to do this map that Knipje is on turret sabotage. The fastest way, of course, is to use turret fly. which is where you can use two defective turrets and their collision and grab properties to just basically fly over some invisible walls and go straight to the end, instead of having to mess around with the
that's
turrets for a bit.
a real cool trick. Hopefully we'll be seeing that, but
And
we'll be able to tell right here by how many turrets he chooses to grab.
this is one of the very few true RNG moments in the game. Is
the
which
only,
turret he
right?
hits. There's
Skip.
yeah,
that's
this
the two
or
I
skip,
skip.
and I believe there's one other. I can't think of off the top of my head at the moment. I know if there is another, we'll see it in comments on it later in the run. It looks like he's just going to do a portal bump here by placing a portal on the edge and then placing a portal inside that portal. The game helpfully bumps it across and on the other side of the wall.
New template accepted.
If we're lucky,
Tended there, which turret fly probably saves around 20 seconds, so it's not the biggest trick, but it's quite sizable if you can do it quickly and well.
Yeah, thankfully with the advent of saving and loading when single segment turned into no SLA, you're able to go for turret fly a couple times, just do the setup and then quick save right before you do it, so you don't lose too much time by dying. Or...
Speaking of dying, Dinoz was very close there. He missed his first portal shot, and he was close to kicking the bucket there.
Very close, yeah. The safest way is to just kill those two turrets looking at you and then not worry about the third one. Some tightly hopping here from Knipje.
And 40 potato batteries. Embarrassing. I mean, I realize they're children.
More bunny hopping. It's basically the rest of this level, just going down
Right
this
here
rail.
could be weird, and he does wait for Wheatley to go ahead there. On the rail, if you can get pinned underneath Wheatley, he can just smash you into the ground, and it can be very confusing if you're not used to it, but regardless of how you react to it, it's very slow if that happens.
To another movement-based map, actually a cycle-based one. There's different panels moving, and you want to be able to catch them and try and cut off the neurotoxin as quickly as you can. So movement here is pretty key to try and save as much time as possible, and he seems to be doing.
Yeah, doing a pretty good job here. It looks like the run in, or the route in this map is very well optimized. So it's like Melon just said, it's just a matter of getting the right cycle on the moving panels and then just getting good movement through here.
I wonder if he'll go for through the door. Yeah, he will. You'll see him crouch here and try and shoot up through there. If you get the right angle and have the right timing, you can actually shoot a panel. Or chopping off these. Oh, I think he messes up his cycle a little bit, so he's gonna have to wait a bit of extra time too.
He's gonna grab the chair and take out his frustration. Dinoz appears to be having issues possibly with Matt Ambient. He's having to rebind. You'll notice that once he brought up the developer console and paused it, it actually paused the in-game timer. There he goes.
He's not technically losing time right now, but
Yeah.
he's just messing around with the settings a little bit. And there you go, he gets it. You can actually see what's going on.
Yeah, he slows down a little bit there so he avoids falling down like Knipje did. Little panels that stick out there. If you hit them, it just stops your movement and generally feels bad. So there's a little pole there he bumped off of as well.
Now look at Knipje's screen. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's laterally. This is perfect. Yeah, he's bound to something? He must. There's no way this is his mouse.
Oh, the spinning? Yeah, it's more than likely he's got a bound for looking right like he would with the right stick to control.
Oh god, this is horrible.
Going for a little bit of the disco timing too, Brad. This is just a cutscene where you just ride through the tube and there's not a whole lot you can do. Interestingly enough, it is possible to lose or gain a tick here. Seems random.
I hope he loses a tick for that. I really hope he does.
He deserves to be docked a tick for that one.
So, Knipje going into the big boss battle, the end of the game. He's almost done. It's almost over. He's about to fight GLaDOS.
World record pace on GLaDOS.
Yeah. I don't know how he beat the 101 by so much, but he's going for it.
He's about to take about 15 minutes off Canadian's world record.
Yeah, I don't know that.
In all seriousness about what Knipje's about to come up on, this is one of the biggest skips in the game.
Well, it was nice
essentially,
Let's get to business.
he drops down, and GLaDOS is going to use turrets and neurotoxin to kill him.
Otherwise, I'm afraid you're about
But,
to become the immediate past.
Yeah,
We've already
that's the end.
discussed
That's how the game ends. You just get neurotoxin and it's all over.
You just die. I want to see if Dinoz goes for any fly here. It does not look like he is. He's going to go for the same semi-independent strat that Knipje went with.
Oh, was something actually had to go into his binds
You're
to
busy back there.
does not turn it off for the rest of the run. He might just play with it on.
That would be interesting to see. There's not really,
It doesn't
there are
do
only
anything, so.
a couple other times that I can think of where Mad Ambient really helps, so.
Neurotoxin. If I were you, I'd take a deep breath and hold it.
Yeah, Knipje is really stuck
I
in
hate you so much.
this game kind of has a bit of a lull period at the start of it, and then a bit of a lull period right in the middle, where there's quite a few levels in a row that are either cutscenes or largely cutscenes.
Oh, that's me they're talking
He's kind of stuck in the middle of that right now, so
Please deposit substitute
you
core in receptacle.
place Wheatley into a core, shoot a few portals, and then
Substitute core. Are you ready
wait for a bit, and then he'll be performing probably, I think it's the biggest time save in the game, just it's 2 minutes flat.
Yeah, there's a big cutscene here that by jumping on top of the elevator, he'll be able to escape. Melon, why don't you talk a little bit about that here?
Okay, well, when the elevator comes up, you'll see him kind of line up on the platform right behind it and wait for it. Here, 1 second, yeah, once he gets this, and then that whole cutscene where Wheatley turns GLaDOS into a potato and does all that stuff, that's just gonna be skipped. Because you'll see him line up right here, wait for the elevator to pop up, and when he jumps on top of it and moves to the back of it, the game will register him as in the elevator and start to play the cutscene to move up as part of the cutscene. And once you're at the peak of that height, you're actually able to just walk right off the elevator, jump down into that hole, and the level will end once you trigger the you hit the trigger at the bottom of the elevator. So by jumping off the elevator and jumping down the hole, you're able to trigger the end of the level about 2 minutes early, because you don't have to sit through any of the cutscene where Wheatley yells at you and calls you dumb and stupid and stuff.
giant robot, massive. It's not just me, right? I am bloody massive, aren't I? Oh, right, yeah, the escape lift.
Yeah, so he's just waiting for it to line up.
Here we go. Lift cool.
You'll see him autosave, jump.
Let me tell you, I knew it was going to be cool.
Very easy trick to get once you, I don't know, once you mess around with it a little bit. Oh,
I'm a bloody genius now.
Oof.
no, you got a first try, no problem. It's not a toughie.
I don't even know what I just said.
Yeah, it's a little bit, it's deceptively tricky there from Pedro, where you have to not only, I'm not sure if we touched on this one, you have to jump on the elevator and then immediately stand on the backside of the elevator.
Yeah, there's a bit of finesse to it once you actually get on the elevator. You have to make sure you know what spot of it to move to, but all in all, it's not too bad. And he gets that first try just fine, jumps to the bottom of the elevator. The cutscene, because the middle of this game is a lot of story, a lot of lore. Just chilling with Potato GLaDOS. And Dinoz is in Cube Ride.
We got two cutscenes going at once. This is turning out to be a lot more common than I expected, having two cutscenes at once here.
Oh yeah, because the middle of this game, as long as the players are reasonably close and both at this point of the game, I should talk about, because again, probably about 7-minute section of the game right in the middle is a good lull period right before a lot of tricky stuff comes up in chapter 6 and 7, because chapter 6 and 7 and 8 are probably the most where there's a lot of tricky stuff you're gonna have to be able to do, or else time lost.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he's not messing around with colors, to be honest.
Yeah, I was expecting some more rave going on here in Fall Ride. I mean, what's better than raving with a potato? But looks like he's foregoing that in the name of spin. Oh, got some green, got some red. There we go.
Oh god, never mind. I'll take it all back.
Knipje with the 500 IQ fake out there.
Now, it's just until the end of the game. There's no real big cutscenes until the last boss battle, so
Yeah.
just be doing some crazy stuff. He's gonna be going into Underground, which it's good. It's a good intro to the rest of the game because now we're in old Aperture. We're underneath all the stuff, all the actual updated things. We're in some old ruin practically. You'll see shoot a few portals and then do this extremely obvious long shot that isn't intended, and then do a few more portals and do another less obvious long shot right here. You'll see him set up for. Be going to the corner of this rubble, jumping and hopefully nailing this within the first few tries. Get the first try, nice.
Easily.
It's about, I don't know, 15-20 seconds of just bunny hopping.
Yeah, it's a very long bunny
hop
hop too, instead of you just skip.
I don't think I've ever actually done that normally, so I can't say how much time it saves, but
Depending on your hops, I would say as much as 15 to 30 seconds.
yeah. And then just you jump on this. You can either jump out of the portal or stand on this scaffolding, it doesn't matter, but he's going to be bypassing a invisible wall there, getting into this big vault door. Well, it's not a big vault door, it's a tiny, like, little...
One of the best bits in this game.
Actually, the one thing I don't like about speedrunning this game is that you miss, like, some of the best dialogue, and just from, like, going too fast or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's a good one that you kind of have to go through.
So here at the beginning of Cave Johnson, Knipje is actually going to skip meeting Cave Johnson. What he's going to do is he's going to portal. Oh no, he's not going to portal stand. He's going for a long shot here.
Interesting that he doesn't portal over there.
Yeah, quite tricky to nail this trick. Looks like he does fall, but thankfully he had a quick save.
Yeah. The edge of it. I assume he's not going to be doing the jumping one based on how far out he was getting. I assume he's going to be trying to doing the standing version, where you are on the very edge of it and you're able to actually shoot. If you get gets it early, then he'll be going for another portal stand. Shoots over there.
Alright.
And uses.
So doesn't go for the reportal, interestingly enough. I don't know if
doesn't even try it.
Plan to do. Yeah, it looks like maybe he just walked forward too early. If you go through that portal, the game gives you scripted momentum, which is a thing in this game. It very helpfully tries to get you going fast enough to make the jumps that you're supposed to make easily. And you can add on to that scripted momentum with a reportal there and fling straight to the end. But it looks like he might have missed his timing or not set up the reportal properly before walking in, or maybe just didn't go for it.
I think it still saves a bit of time to not hit the reportal at all over just doing the intended not intended elevator route, but the other, like. So he probably just isn't comfortable with the reportal and didn't want to lose time to missing it.
That makes sense. There's another route you can do where you portal stand at the portal underneath the elevator and skip a whole room and a long cutscene there.
Yeah, we'll likely be seeing Dinoz doing that one. And going for another button glitch here, doesn't get it, but that's probably one of the more, besides the one very early in the game, that's the other button glitch you'll see a lot of people go for there, is that if you land on that button just right, you can open the door without having to do any cube shenanigans.
Yeah, it's tight timing on this one because it's button clicking a door that takes a longer animation to open, but he's going for scaffolding skip here.
Yes.
If you bounce off of this, yeah, I really like this one. If you bounce off of this and crouch, you can get up there just like that into the scaffolding, and then it's some tight crouching there, but he managed to pull it out. He's gonna try to strafe over, grab the cube, does it easily. He's gonna hop up, grab the cube on.
Learn that. Doesn't seem that bad. Right to the end. Easy peasy.
Every time. There is another button glitch you can do. The room with all of the blue gel that he airstrafed to grab the cube. The button at the beginning of that you can actually get stuck, but it's an inconsistent lineup. We still can't even, I believe it was on Wednesday. We saw can't even go for that for a good 20 seconds or so, and ended up bailing out on it. It does take quite a bit of time there if you're able to pull it off. Yeah. Maybe not 20 seconds.
It just gave up.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't get it, it saves some time, but it's not, a must-do button glitch, so. If you're not happy with his money out there.
Yeah, you almost did it right there. He's going for bomb flings. Portal stand should press the button, and hopefully he hits this blue gel cycle.
Oh, no, misses the cycle. Went a little bit too fast. Didn't give the blue gel enough time to fall through the portal.
Gotta wait. I know you want to go fast.
Oh no, we missed the cycle again.
It's
Sad
fine
day.
because then he portals. Yeah,
Yeah.
not gonna lose. Not a huge deal.
Big
But
red coming from
it's
Knipje.
still not happy, which
Understandable.
there you go.
Dinoz.
Dino's finally out of his cutscene hell, playing the game.
Visualizing the scenario while under stress actually triggers the reaction.
So we'll see. Okay, which one can he just do? He did the bomb fling stuff. Coming up is Crazy Box. There are a couple different routes here for Crazy Box. I'll talk a little bit about portal funneling here when it comes up, but right here he just hops over that and stands on the loudspeaker. You can actually see this that shot right there, which you're not supposed to be able to, and portal down to here. In the next room, he's going to be disabling what's called portal funneling, where the game very helpfully pulls you in toward the middle of a funnel, or toward the middle of a portal. But unfortunately, what that does is that messes with the angle at which you're flying in, and it normalizes it more toward the middle of the portal. So what he's doing here is disabled portal funneling with this little fling. He preserves that angle. He's able to fly up right there, and just
Perfect. First try.
very good Crazy Box out of Knipje. There is a stuck launch you can do on Crazy Box that is kind of difficult to set up for, and I've really only seen 2 or 3 runners go for in this tournament so far. It is quite
A
a
little
bit
crazy to do that one.
Got him.
Yeah, that was good.
So Dinoz is coming up on Katie Johnson. I want to see, he is going to go ahead and hop on this railing. Well, not necessarily hop, but he's going to portal himself over. It's a little tight, but he manages to pull it off. And then
So he's going to be
he's
going for the
long shot here.
Oh, he is. I thought he would be going for the elevator, but I respect it.
Yeah, absolutely. So he's going to go for, it looks like, the same setup where he walks out as far as he can, and then sees this long shot here.
Definitely the safer one.
Yeah, there's a route where you can go not quite as far out and then hop and do some strafing in the air. Dinoz manages to save himself there. Very, very lucky that he does. So I want to see if he gets for the reportal here. If he does have to make quite a bit of time, it doesn't look like he is.
Oh.
Having a little bit of stream issues with him on my side, but yeah.
Yeah. But he's not. Knipje, towards the end of Chapter 6, he should just do this fling pretty easily and then be on his way to Chapter 7. Oh, no, he hits the bottom of that portal and just launches towards the start of the level again.
Yeah. What he's going for here is if he does a little jump through and then flings all the way to where he was going for, he can fling up on top of the wall there.
Yeah, you don't have to wait for any of the aperture stuff to move and groove. You can just go for it.
Yeah,
and he gets
don't
it
have
second
to
try. Fine.
actually grab the potato. Yeah, that's not that going to be honest. Unfortunately, he didn't get it first try, and you can see how he's reacting to that. But, it's yeah, it still saves a lot of time, even if you get it second try. It saves a lot of time over intended. So it just he failed it by hitting the top of the portal, like Melon said. It bonked him down a bit.
And here you'll see him do a little bit of a precise shot. For some reason, there's a small gap there that allows you to shoot a portable surface that is basically at the very end of the level.
Oh no! Okay, so what he's trying to do is a little bit more akin to a Pika portal rather than a root portal. What he's trying to do is if he stands on the left side of that portal, or the bottom side of it, and then holds left strafe, he gets a re-portal there, but what? He just fell.
It's because it funneled him in an awkward way that like made him go at a more downward angle. He needs to either shoot that portal a bit later at a better angle, and he does there, so he makes it towards the end.
Okay.
But yeah.
But if you saw that the first time he went for that little peak portal / re-portal sort of thing, he got pushed off the edge. Actually, if you hold left strafe, it pushes you into the railing that's there. Dino's not quite getting a good enough strafe off of that. So he's having to go the intended.
I think he did. I think he was doing in intended Crazy Box, or not Crazy Box, intended route for Repulsion Intra.
Gotcha.
Cool.
Can it look like he might be painting orange here on prop flings, propulsion flings? No, it looks like he's gonna. No, this is the newer route. Okay, so what he did is he's painting blue on an angled panel. He's gonna hop down through here and spam jump and just get flung straight to the end.
Oh, yeah. Barely makes that. That was close.
That might be the only
Makes
route I know. It probably isn't even correct.
Frankly, you ought to be paying us.
Can be breaking audio in order to tab out and meme in the chat for a little bit. Shout out to Knipje on that. Dinoz coming up on bomb flames here. I want to see the route that he takes. There's a reportal you can do that not many people do because it's a little bit tight. It looks like he's just going to portal stand and get up there. Misses the portal stand, but it's easily saved.
I'll probably just do the same thing as...
Some real contributions to society for a change, and for that, humanity is grateful. If you had any belongings...
You see here on Knipje's screen, he's going to do a portal shot over here as he gets this jump, which he does. You're able to actually jump off that little bit of the rail and then make your way onto the stairs, which is... But I definitely tried that for like 30 minutes when I was playing this game for the first time. I just like tried to get that because I didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
I did, but it turns out it's not that difficult once you actually spend a little bit of time on it.
Yeah, it's a little bit tricky to not jump too far or too shallow. So it's a little bit of a precise, not really a precise portal jump, but it's difficult to get right first try sometimes.
You can trip you up occasionally. And here, I wonder what route he's going to do here. I hope we get to see the re-portal, which it looks like we're going to.
So let's set up a little bit.
I wonder
No,
what
it
we're
looks
going
like
to see
he's
here.
going to end up just portaling and painting here. So he's going to go for
Spread the gel around a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, does he get in?
Ooh.
Whoa.
Yeah, he has portals in the wrong spot there for that. What he's going to need
I
to
don't think he has
do...
enough. Yeah, I'm not sure if he has enough gel on the panel to actually get his portal consistently.
The more common setup I've seen for this is where you come out of where it's got that portal on the wall, drifting to the left, and then flinging across, and looks like he's still going to get it. Just a different setup for the same thing, just air strafing up that way.
Yeah. It's not the intended route. You basically just kind of want to spread gel around, get your correct fling, place the panel on in midair. Yeah, ooh.
It's always nice to see that get done right.
Long shot up to the top, little jump, little shots, hopefully a little strafe here, and then end of the level. And then going into...
it's an interesting point by Fatman in the chat there, that matte ambient does make some of these shots a little bit harder to see.
Going into, I don't know, probably one of the, from a casual perspective, one of the coolest looking maps right here with 3 gels. And you're going to see some jumps right here to get up, get this gel, and then you're going to see him set up for a stuck launch, which is a really interesting trick to this game, where if you're pressed right up against a cube, or a tube in like the right fashion, your momentum will not actually falling, so you gain speed practically indefinitely, and then so my stream's bugging out a little bit, but if he gets this just right, he should be able to get it. Yeah, so you see him move forward. He's moving down slightly, but he's gaining speed this whole time, and yeah, he misses the gel. He doesn't have the gel in the right spot, it looks like.
Let's see, he's gonna try again here.
But as you, yeah, no, he's just dropping down to get the gel, I think.
Oh, that's right, get more gel, yeah.
You kind of saw what he was trying to do, and you saw him move down at a really quick pace. If he bounces off the gel moving down like that, he should be able to bounce up just to the top of the level, like past all the puzzles, past all the everything, jump up to the final room. He's in a bit of trouble getting the gel in the right spot where he wants it.
Oh, looks like he's got it okay now. He's just waiting to try to paint as much gel down there as he can to give himself a big landing spot for the stuck launch bounce.
Yeah. Hopefully this is a good setup.
Not quite got this stuck yet. He needs to be stuck in between that tube and the scaffolding. There it goes. Oh, he gets the stuck launch and the bounce, but unfortunately hits the bottom of that catwalk.
I mean, balls, and this is Dino's best chance to get up right now. This is where he's gonna have to gain his time, because Knipje is having some trouble with this.
Yeah, Knipje told me before the race that 3 gels this chamber here is his favorite because he's bad and seeing at it makes him feel good, and I can't imagine how red his screen's about to be once he finally gets through this.
He
Not
actually
enough
gets stuck launch,
speed.
but he doesn't keep the stuck launch to preserve as much speed. So he actually isn't able to make it all the way up to the top of the level. You need to stay there for. Everyone has their different way of telling how long it is, whether it's counting out loud or waiting for like the portal gun to move back and forth, however many times or whatever. I usually just keep
the
it.
easiest way to do that is just using CL_show_1, which shows you your velocity, and that way you can just look for a specific number. It's a lot more precise, but I'm not sure if that's what he was doing or if he was trying to time it. Here he's going to actually click over to the button at the end. There we go, hits the button, look at the poster there.
My preferred method for that is to just wait super long and then get flung way too much and just bounce around up at the top. It's the most fun way to do it.
What's interesting about that strat, which is what I do as well, if you don't quite get the shot while you're up in the air, you can land on the catwalk that's up there, and you just have a lot of time to just stand there and land the shot up, which is not a precise shot, but when you're at a high speed, it can be a little bit tricky to get. And then, of course, just jumping down.
Now he's lining up for another trick to bounce. Hopefully he's able to get this, and then we can, yep. As you can see, he's bouncing off that tube right there, and that's because it's a blue gel tube, and for some reason, Valve is super dumb and made it bouncy. And if you hold W while you're just going up, you're able to just bounce off that tube all the way up, go over the clip rope, and just...
That's a really good... That's a really good tube bounce from Knipje. It's a little bit trickier than it seems. It's not super difficult, but it's tricky. So that's definitely some redemption there for Knipje. That's kept so long so much. He's able to save some time on tube bounce there.
Not happy with it though, but still.
I wouldn't be happy with it either, but he got it. Dinoz is having trouble with that jump we were talking about here, but he ends up getting the second or third try there.
So now he's only a conversion intro and a 3 gels behind. So if Knipje has problems with some sort of turretfly shenanigans or something like that, not turretfly, crouchfly shenanigans or whatever, or keep throw.
Another big trick that we're going to see here, hopefully Knipje goes for, because it's a little bit of a newer shot, a couple years old here. But there's a trick in this game where if you crouch in a funnel, and then with zero velocity, you crouch in a funnel, and then you uncrouch, you're able to keep the zero-G effect that the funnel gives you. And if you do that in a source of a funnel rather than in a funnel that you've extended with portals, then you just keep that crouch fly basically forever until you get rid of it. He's going for right here, though. You want to talk about keep throw here?
Yeah, basically, like earlier with the laser switch and stuff, as long as the button to activate the end door is activated for just a second and you're pushing up against it, you're going to be able to get through that door. And normally right here, you'd put the cube on the button, and Wheatley would block the door.
Gets it nice.
He gets it, because he's pushing up against the door right next to it. Wheatley isn't able to block him, and he doesn't have to sit through that about 50-second cutscene. So he actually gets to skip all that. So even though he spent maybe 25-30 seconds messing around with cubes, that's definitely a time saver.
It's fairly No, go ahead.
Dinoz is having the same issue with this. This method is really tough to get. It's really finicky.
He's getting a lot more speed than I see very often. He's flinging way over the panel there. I haven't seen that.
That's definitely is an issue because it's how much you strafe. It's really actually a precise way, and he gets it there. But he actually misses the strafe.
Yeah, the most consistent setup I've seen so far is painting over to the left of that wall that you jump out of there and strafing to the left and getting it fairly close. So that way you don't have to worry about having to strafe very far. You just keep going up and you strafe some. Can you fill the minor dialogue skip there?
It looks like he might be going for intended route now because he's just gonna. Yeah, he is.
He is. I don't necessarily like this decision from Dinoz because he could waste another 30 seconds on the strat he was going for, and this is going to lose him more time than just spending more time going for that. So, definitely a viable backup strat if you do it quickly, but with the amount of time he invested already in the flame, it's interesting that he just went for the intended there.
I don't blame him though. That strat that he was trying before is extremely finicky, and you'll see here, Knipje is actually doing
Alright.
Like he's getting his first preserve, and he's gonna be able to keep that in the next level. So now he's gonna be able to just kind of fly around at will in these levels, and he's gonna be able to use that to skip over massive portions of the actual puzzle.
Yeah, it saves just off the top of my head. This next chamber that he's doing, it's going to save a good probably 30 seconds of just waiting on funnels and cubes and stuff. Dinoz is having a little bit of trouble here. It looks like he reloaded. And it's very important to remember for Knipje here, while he has this glitch, he cannot jump at the wrong time, because if he does, the only way to change your Z velocity when you have crouch fly is by level geometry or by re-entering a funnel.
Yes. So he's gonna be very careful with when he jumps, but you saw there he just jumped into the top of the ceiling and he's just able to fly over the stuff. He grabbed the button, he actually used the cube that he grabbed from the button to place it over himself to actually force himself down to the floor, which was just a good way to get back down on the floor and allow you to finish that level.
Yeah.
And he's going to be able to abuse it again here. You'll see him just no jumping, no bunny hopping when you got this glitch, because jumping's a bad idea in most of these parts. You just see him walking and strafing on walls and stuff, and then he's going to float out over this gap. This is where the other time save comes from doing this strat, because you just don't have to wait.
Sorry, it is possible for him to die here. I don't know whether it's the button hitting him or him just hitting some sort of death plan. I'm not sure what it is, but
I think it's there's a trigger like in the button or something, and the button can like go through you or something. It's something very odd. Works, so I probably shouldn't talk about it, but yeah, you can die there pretty easily. He goes a bit too early on the cube though.
Yeah, he's going for an interesting strategy here to get the cube onto the button, and ends up getting it. So.
Disappointed.
But he gets it, and he still has his crouch fly.
Goodness, Dinoz! Holy moly! Chill out with the stuck launch there, buddy.
Dinoz, dude.
He just stuck launched flung so far that he hit like the gate at the end of where you're supposed to be.
That's what I love doing. I'm always so I do that Dinoz sometimes too. Just gotta keep it, make sure.
Just flung with like the max downward velocity there. That's nuts. Knipje's gonna lose his crouch fly here by entering this portal to get him up to the end. So now he can jump, he can bunny hop freely for now. On the next map, he's gonna get crouch fly back and hopefully preserve that through to the next chamber or so.
I love polarity. It's such a good level.
It's so good.
It's like a little time trial. It's like Mario Kart. You just gotta go. Okay, yeah, you'll see him. He lost his crouch fly in the last level, so now he's hopping again.
He's gonna
for his portal cut.
Yeah, there's not, regardless of what strategy.
First try.
Very good portal cut. There's some weird detection on whether you can actually place a portal on something, and on some of those grates, the detection goes wonky and lets you place a portal in a specific spot there, which we just saw Knipje actually take advantage of and skip a whole bunch of time by portal cutting straight to the button.
That'd be green for me.
That would be great for me as well.
That was really good. I can't do that at all.
I could spend an hour and a half just restarting level in CN and not ever get that portal cut once first try, so shoutouts to him for getting that.
And I believe now he's gonna get funnel fly. Wait, no, he's in stop the box now. So another level where he's not gonna be using funnel fly. I don't know why I'm calling it a bunch of weird names. Also, Dinoz finally in chapter 8.
Don't mind me, just moving the old test chamber a little bit closer to me.
Yeah, you'll jump up because Shell's grab range is so ridiculous. Flying over you, you can somehow reach out with your Elasti-Woman-like arms and grab that. See him try and time this. If the cube's right over your head while you fling like that, you can just grab it out of air even though it's not close to you at all. You'll see him bunny hop over here. You light bridge to block the turrets. He's just going to be quick. He's going to get that jump. Done with the level. Nicely done. Missed cube grabs. The rest of that was basically as good as you want it to be. I'll go in, and Dinoz is going to mess around this cube throw to do it based on the way he's going for it, but he's at least yeah, and he gets himself stuck. We'll see Knipje get another funnel fly. He's going to line this up, try and make sure he can sit up
10 times as fast.
Yeah, and you'll see him.
Just give me a way
He's
to
gonna crouch, uncrouch.
ending for when I watch it later.
Yeah, he's got it. So he's gonna fly. He's gonna jump off of this panel, down with this pipe, so that he's gonna be. Oh, gets a bit too low there. He should be able to land on this and jump off of it. Down with another pipe here. Nicely done. So now that he landed, he's going to be able to preserve this final fly into the next level, which is going to allow him to do this next level significantly faster because he's going to get to avoid 25-second funnel sequence at the end of it that he's just going to be able to fly right past with his funnel fly. Yeah, so he's going to laser platform. You're going to see him portal over there, do a
Was self-destructing already.
good funnel fly, so it's not the exact same thing. He's going to
One last tremor for old time's sake.
grab the cube, throw in the air.
More tremors in there.
Should portal over just fine. I think he got it. Nice. You're going to see him like
Not a monster. Alright, still nothing. Let's keep
off of the
Sorry about
portal
it. It's out of it.
to hit the button, so you don't need to actually do any of the real puzzle as long as you get that angle right. And you're going to see him fly past all this funnel. He's just going to bypass the whole thing and hop into the funnel right at the end, right here before it stops going and it drops you. You can go further than that, but going further than that, there's a lot of death triggers toward the end there because you actually hit the funnel at the very end, triggers, and just drop into the load zone practically. But he's going for a bit of a more safe strat, but I don't blame him because you can get hit by death trigger there and lose all your progress.
Yeah, just getting a test
My bad.
for
What?
you. Obviously,
Yeah,
you're
back.
probably doing it
Believe
well.
that.
Yeah, you're back. I can hear you.
Yeah, that was interesting. There's a little bit of time for Knipje here. If he goes too early, missed the crouch fly. Basically, what he's trying to do is time it right so he can get across. The part that moves, he's gonna have to shoot a funnel onto the wall that's on there because that triggers Wheatley's final dialogue. And if he doesn't do that, he can knock the elevator, where he just has to ride all the way to the top of the elevator, and it's annoying.
Struggling a bit with this fly.
Yeah, this fly is being not nice.
Can you
at
get the
all.
fly with the funnel right there?
You
Or does it
can't
need
get
to
the
be
fly. You can get as long as you have zero velocity, but I think he might have not been waiting long enough before crouching.
Everyone's still dead.
It doesn't look like one. And he shouldn't be able to get this shot off before the elevator, so
Big surprise.
Yeah.
again, dialogue, and you're just gonna have to wait through the whole elevator until you actually hit the zone at the end that's just gonna put you through no matter what. So that's what 30 seconds of just elevator.
Melon, will you join me in a moment of silence for this awkward elevator? Such a long time just sitting in the elevator there if you don't get that.
So Dinoz is having a little bit of trouble keeping his funnel fly. It looks like he's going for the fly preserve. And he's having a lot of trouble
Oh, he
actually.
lost it.
Yeah, he's having trouble getting the fly.
Because he entered that funnel that wasn't the source
Yeah.
funnel. He lost his fly there.
Don't think he quite knows that though.
Yeah.
Keep trying this. And also at the same time, if he's getting his funnel fly that he's gonna be able to preserve for the rest of the game that he uses funnel fly for. He gets shot by a turret
Goodness.
at the right height still. Okay, yeah, he is. So he's
Cool,
gonna maintain this fly throughout finales 1, 2, and 3. In the same fly for that entire period of time.
I was just having issues here with the
Might need
the crowd. There we go. I believe he managed. No, he did not manage to conserve it there.
Oh, because he doesn't. Huh.
Dying to
This
know
is
what
interesting.
your big surprise is.
Yeah. I hope eventually he cuts his losses and because this
Looks like
fly.
he still got it now. Yeah.
Did
Question
it?
is, he just jumped. I think he just jumped.
This is the. Oh, is he gonna use the cube to force himself down? Or did he get it? I think he's cutting his losses, yeah.
Yeah.
Or did he get the funnel fly?
He does have funnel fly right now, I hope, because he's
Okay,
not
good.
hopping. So either he
Yeah,
has
good.
crouch fly or he thinks he has crouch fly and doesn't, but I believe he's got it.
I kind of hope that he thinks he has it. Because I want to see.
I don't want to see it.
how he reacts.
Yeah,
See,
it's
well, no, he can still do the levels fine. I just want to see what he does.
yeah, that's true.
Just these next 2 levels without this preserve, because I do know that he is important to experience. I think he's fairly new. Oh, okay.
Oh, well, he did have the fly. He just
He
forgot
didn't
about
think
it
he
and tried
did,
to-
so he jumped too early.
Oh, where did we go
okay.
wrong, mate?
At least he does. Good.
So Knipje, we didn't quite see it because we were so focused on Dinoz being Dinoz, but essentially what Knipje has done is there's in the very first room of Finale 1, which he's in now, there's a little punch on the wall to use to lock his Z height in, and then he just used that to basically, looks like no clipping, but he's just flying through no clippings areas. Here, I want to see he is going to go through. His air strikes have been good. He does manage to get there's a death panel or death plane is the word I'm looking for on the back of that crusher that can easily troll you, but he gets just fine.
Honestly, I think that strat's so risky. I almost always die from that. I can never. It's just. It's too much. A bit too much speed. And
Yeah,
he kind of flies into that wall. But he's gonna just use his fly to bypass this entire thing. I think go too fast, fling into another wall on accident, but gets through. With all the curves on here. But he's gonna just. Okay, yeah. He's gonna try and ramp himself off the bottom of these stairs to move his Z height down. Yep. Right over here. Yeah, did that well. And then here's a room with a bunch of turrets. And what he's gonna do here is he's gonna activate all the turrets to get him to look at him. Once they reset their position, there's actually a bit of period of time where they can't track on you, so you get a bit of extra time to fly past those turrets without getting shot if you trigger them beforehand. So that's why most people do that strategy without beforehand, because it's quite a bit safer than not doing so, because you get quite a bit of extra time. There. Here again,
Right
he's just
here.
gonna use his fly to just get through this level. It's kind of all Finale is. It's just abusing the hell out of your fly.
He hits the door, so he gets what we call slow fly, which is where you have to get all your speed back and you fly really slowly until you strike well.
So he's actually gonna reset from the.
Looks like he loaded a quick save just so he could get.
Did it again.
I don't think he's really going to avoid slow. I think he's just trying to bonk his head on the door as hard as he can. Which honestly, if I was feeling like he would right now, I'd probably do the same.
And yep, gets that. He's gonna move himself down to the ground so that he can jump and hit a specific height, so that he's actually able to fly alongside this funnel and enter it at the very end of the funnel to get rid of his fly before the final boss fight. And then after that, all he has is the final boss. But hop into the funnel, hop out of the funnel. I'm not happy, and then he's on. Get on with it. Also, Dino's going for portal cut as well, but not having as easy of a time as I forgot his name again. How did I forget his name? Like an hour and a half into this.
So as Knipje is going into the final stage, the fight against Wheatley Dinoz is coming up on finishing fall catch here.
Yep, getting the final boss. He's not going to be able to PB here. He's probably going to be about a minute and a half, 2 minutes off, based off of his PB time from that region.
No, he's been feeling today. He's been under the weather. I consider this a
Not too many huge mistakes for him, but he still has to get to this final boss. But there's quite a few advanced strategies you're able to do if you want to make it a bit faster. Stuff like bomb reserves. Which I'm not sure if we'll see him try any of those here.
Bomb preserve is fast. It's not particularly difficult. It can be tricky.
Yeah, I think bomb preserve is pretty tricky. I'm not sure if Dino's actually placed at the wrong portal, so he's gonna have to do this without the light bridge to protect him.
Easily gets it done.
Hopefully Wheatley's gonna start throwing bombs. Yeah. So he's gonna hide behind this, get Wheelie to burst it open. So he has.
Neurotoxin level at capacity in 5 minutes.
Is he lining up for bomb preserves? I don't actually do them, so I don't actually know what lining up for them looks like.
It looks like it's that yellow. It looks like that. Yeah, he's going for a bomb preserve.
Oh, you'll see him.
Ooh.
Can
You
you
don't
get him?
get to preserve one bomb. It looks like.
Okay, but you see the bombs flying there. You can actually bypass having to wait for Wheatley to throw more bombs at you if you have those bombs being preserved in portals. So that's kind of the
Oh.
At 50%.
whole point of that is
Reactor explosion in
just not have to wait for Wheatley to do a whole nother cycle for bombs. You can just place that portal there, Wheatley, and then I think it only saves 3 to 4 seconds. I don't think it's a huge time save, but then just gonna grab this core, put it on,
core corruption at 75%. Reactor explosion timer.
or one more core to go, and then he's got Moonshot, and that should be time for him.
This facility.
Not to put these cores on, but you don't listen, do you? Quiet.
So he's gonna get that shot. Do some portal shenanigans here where he flies up in a certain spot right next to Wheatley. Completely avoid having to work with the orange gel once again, because we do not use orange gel at all in this run because it's actually slow.
Ah, I see.
Remember that contains it, because you can either fly past it or do some weird fling or whatever.
What do you think?
It looks like.
As yes.
We'll see here. I don't know if he's going to go for an early moonshot or if he's going to just do this normally. The final action you take in this game is shooting the moonlit portal. Right here, he's going to. Doesn't look like he's going for an early moonshot. But what you can do is you see you just spam the blue portal underneath it. He's a rubble and it stays there even after the gel's been washed off. What he's going to do is just stand on it, crouch. He's going to shoot that shot there. Part 5.
Part 5. He's red. He's about to just spam button as hard as he possibly can. And also,
Bit of a rave.
so should
This
finish.
time.
Boom. And that's an interesting moon.
We haven't seen
But-
any texture swap. We have, I guess, seen a texture swap on the door for Knipje. I wasn't expecting that. So that's full time for Knipje. There is 1:16:47:20. You're about right, minute and a half, 2 minutes off this period there.
I can pull
Yeah.
myself in.
So not a
Fixed it, and you are
particularly
not
great run for him, but in a race, being a minute off your PB, that's not too bad. Dinoz gets his fly. Does a weird strat there. He actually, I've never actually seen anybody do that before. He got a jump fly and then jumped into the ceiling and then flew over there rather than just getting a crouch fly like most people do. But while Knipje is completely done in about 60 minutes, Dinoz just moving on to the end of Chapter 8, moving into Chapter 9 now. So we'll probably be getting Knipje in here to talk about his run.
Yeah, we'll get him in here in just a second. Let me toss him the link here. Alright. Toss him the link and we'll see.
Dino, let me check Dino's PB, because I'm not sure if he's on PB pace, but I think he's relatively close to on PB pace, at least. 58.
Butterfingers.
About 10 minutes.
Only 3 more chambers to your big surprise.
I think he might be like a minute or so behind PB pace, but I mean, he can probably get pretty close. Oh, he also, not now. He missed his funnel fly there and kind of flew into the abyss, so he's gonna have to load control fly. Oh, what's up?
Hi.
Let me get your thoughts on that, man, on that run.
Jesus Christ. You really are a robot.
Oh my god. Alright, Melon, it's all up to you, buddy. My Discord is way down at this point.
Okay, are you signing off? Because whoa, that was
No.
intense.
Yeah, why don't, I'll go ahead and resign myself here on this, this Discord is just not having fun. I don't know how it sounds to y'all, but it can't be very, if I sound to y'all like anything like you sound to me, this can't be fun to listen to, so.
Has it been like this for the entirety of the stream?
I don't know. I think this has been it might have been the whole time. I haven't been listening to the stream, but
I don't know if joining as well. Like, they just have the Aussie Connect thingy to actually work. I also have no idea how Portal 2 is now playing in the background. I don't think I know how that's doing. It's never done that before for me.
this is a lot. Okay, how did you feel about that? You were about a minute off your PB overall. How did you feel about your run?
Well, to be exact, it is literally a minute above PB. Exact. Because of the 15-second lag expire just present in the container mode. And so of course when it's got off the run, plenty of plenty of mess up. That's actually 3 kills. I think I could have pulled through if I hadn't messed it up as badly as I had. It was actually 1 minute 50-second time loss right there.
Did have it wasn't as I think most of your time loss came from a lot of time loss on a few specific chambers rather than a little bit of time loss kind of everywhere. I got a lot of time loss on Ricochet, a lot of time loss on 3. Those are the 2 I remember off the top of my head.
That's ironic, but I actually know
That
two a
were
lot because I know I'm bad at them.
Oh, I've got an idea.
Those are, to be fair, those are like the 2 most notably hard levels to me. They're just like obviously tough for everyone, kind of.
Yeah, well, especially for me. Also, I like how the background play of Portal 2 just stopped.
Oh god.
No consistency at all, just like my timer.
I do have to say, I really liked your colors. I thought it was really good. The colorful thing to represent your emotions. I have the same thing going on my setup. I have like different
I
colors.
stole mine from AJ, really. When I commentated his run, he well, I'm just interrupt as well. But when I commentated his run, he did the same thing. And I thought, hey, that's a good idea. And then just adding in the yellow light as like, hey, I gold. I didn't do it all the time, by the way, because I had like 22 seconds gold in. Somehow I just gold in 4.
Oh, I've got an idea. Yes, in your face. I got armor.
So somewhat struggling to hear you, but I'll try. I'll try my best. I don't know what's up with this Discord. I hope at least one of us has been. Yeah, no, there's just robots in the chat.
Yes, we are playing co-op right now. I'm purely Atlas. We're waiting for ourselves.
Don't mind me.
I hope at least one of us kind of sounds okay, but overall, because I can't hear anything you're saying, you did pretty well. You did pretty well.
My idea was be, but sure, you know, just you the whole time for like 3 times. As I actually have like 3 times. But I was gonna want to talk. But yeah, did I get those?
What did you just say? What was the last question?
Did I get those?
You typed in chat because I cannot hear. I can't hear it. This is wow. This is intense.
Welcome back.
Oh, did it kill you? That would be amazing if it killed you. Hello?
I should probably go off and go because the stomach is actually getting worse and I am getting increasingly tired.
Yeah, this Discord is still. Oof.
Hello? Yes, alright, no, just had a brainwave.
Yeah.
I'll be back. If you're still alive, I'm gonna be back. Don't die until I get back.
I'm just gonna watch the Express now, by the way. Lockdown.
Crashing's too good for him. First, he'll spend a year in the incinerator. Year 2, cryogenic refrigeration wing. Then, 10 years in the chamber I built where all the robots scream at you. Then, I'll kill him.
We're back?
Wait,
Yeah.
why?
You're right. Welcome.
Okay, I'll take that as a no then.
Now this is actually going for if I can talk without Discord letting out, which is a 0% chance. Then is actually going for a different set here to get the right height. So, I don't know if he's not going to have a chance to change it later.
Why would the free messages send him much more powerful? Like, why? Sorry, Mr. for ruining it.
Dinoz funny. Spends so much time trying to rip his blood, he does end up doing it just for that.
I also found out what new quality life is. I found out something. Yeah. I have figured out that there are Donald Duck and Star Trek puppets. And they sound amazing, like the Klingons are King Kongs.
Well. Welcome to my lair. Let me just flag something up. According to the control panel light up there, the entire building is going to self-destruct in about 6 minutes. I'm pretty sure it's a problem with the light. I think the light's on the blink, but just in case it isn't, I am actually going to have to kill you, as discussed earlier. So let's call that 3 minutes, and then a minute break, where we should leave allegedly 2 minutes to figure out how to shut down whatever's starting all the fires. So anyway, that's the itinerary. Also, I took the liberty of watching the tapes of you killing her, and I'm not going to make the same mistakes. 4-part plan is this. 1. No portal surfaces. 2. Start the neurotoxin immediately. 3. Bomb-proof shields. 4B. Leading directly on to number 4. Bombs. Throwing it in. Do you know what? This plan is so good, I'm going to give you a sporting chance and turn off the neurotoxin. I'm joking, of course. Goodbye.
Neurotoxin level at capacity in 5 minutes.
Ha! That's sounded real. No, that was actually an impression of you. Actually, because you just fell into my trap, my brilliant trap. Just said, I wanted you to trap.
I'm delivering the first core up near the catwalk. Grab it and attach it to it.
Warning. Core corruption at 50%. Vent system compromised. Neurotoxin offline. Reactor explosion in 4 minutes.
What happened? What happened? What have you palmed to me? What is that? Hold on. The blood.
Okay, great. Here comes another core.
Quick, what's the situation? Oh, hey, you pretty lady. Name's Rick. So you out having yourself a little adventure? What, are you fighting that guy?
Core corruption at 75%. Reactor explosion.
Folks, what happened to Bolt anymore?
Reactor explosion uncertainty. Emergency preemption protocol initiated. This facility will self-destruct
I'm
in
used to
2
the
minutes.
text as well, so I think that's it.
I told you not to put these cores on me, but you don't listen, do you? Quiet.
Here's another core. This one should do it.
At some point in their lives, 1 in 6 children will be abducted by the has superb tensile strength. The automobile brake was not invented until 1895. Before this, someone had to remain in the car at all times, driving in circles.
Warning. Core corruption at 100%. Manual core replacement required.
Oh, I see.
Substitute core. Are you ready to start? Corrupted core. Are you ready to start?
What do you think?
Interpreting vague answer as yes.
No. Didn't pick up on my sarcasm.
Stalemate detected. Fire detected in the stalemate resolution annex. Extinguishing.
Oh, that just cleans right off, does it? Well, that would have been good to know a little earlier.
Stalemate resolution associate. Please press the stalemate resolution button.
Oh, hi, welcome back.
Press that button. No! Do not do it! I forbid you to press it!
Press the button.
Part 5! Booby trap the stalemate button! What? Are you still alive? You are joking! You have got to be kidding me! Well, I'm still in control, and I have no idea how to fix this place. Oh!
Okay, so Dinoz runs it up with 128.33.
Hey, found.
Honestly, with the Discord issues we're having, I'm gonna make an executive decision to just forego the interview. As I want to talk about his thoughts, but it's not likely to translate properly over to the stream because of the issues we're having with Discord right now.
We don't need to interview Dinoz. This is a mess. We don't need to.
This audio is such a mess. All right, so final times, if they're audible at all on the screen, I can't tell. But final times here, Knipje had a 116.47.
Dinoz false.
What?
Remember, I put 15 extra seconds in container ride.
Oh, that's right. Well, we'll have to, I guess, if you want a proper time, then you can, I guess, time the demos. But what's shown up the stream, at least, is 116.47, and Dinoz with a 128.33. So keep you taking the win here. It looks like I'm going to pull the bracket back up. It looks like he'll be moving on to face Crimson, I believe, in winners. Let me make sure I'm right. Yes, so it looks like he'll be moving on to face Crimson, winner bracket, round 2. Dinoz takes the loss here, moving down to the loser's bracket. There's a whole bunch of stuff that has to happen before we know who Dinoz faces in the loser's bracket. So, GG's to both. Thank you much for hanging around with us through all these audio issues. Let me take a look here at what our next run is. So it looks like our next run is going to be tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern. It's going to be between Kojo and Hoshi. We're going to have that and cancel commentary for that. The channel that it's on is still to be determined. We probably won't know that until tomorrow morning. So yeah, that's the next run. We're going to have 2 runs, it looks like, at the same time. 2 at 11 a.m., one between Kojo and Hoshi, one between Goodabo and Lucas. And that'll do it for us here. Looks like, let me hop on that schedule and let's take a look and see what else is going on with gaming at the moment. Let's see here. So as of right now, okay. So as of right now, coming up right now, actually probably done, is the link to the past randomizer daily race over on Speed Gaming 3. At the moment, we've got a Final Fantasy 4 randomizer going on over on Speed Gaming 3. Later on, we'll have more link to the past randomizer on Speed Gaming 2 and daily race over on Speed Gaming 4. So that's it for today for the Portal 2 Inbound No Save Abuse tournament. Until tomorrow at 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. Eastern. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good day.